Hey, what's up guys, Totallydubbed here, and today I'm doing a video review on the DUNU Titan 5s. Now, I had previously reviewed the DUNU Titan 1s, and I was very much intrigued to see how the DUNU Titan 5s would compare. So thanks for DUNU for actually sending me these out for review. Now, they can be found for around £100 on Amazon.co.uk and around $140 on Amazon USA. As I'm based in England, I'll be reviewing it on the £100 price tag. You can also find a full written review of these earphones on my website, and I highly suggest you check that out just because it'll get into a lot more detail and depth in comparison to this video review. So what do you get in this beautifully crafted box? Well, you've got the earphones themselves, which would be a pretty much given. You've got these earphone hooks or strain relief, which sit in your ear, which I'll get into in just a bit. You've got this hard case, just like you do with the Titan 1. It's got a rubber back in preventing from sliding, and you've got this sort of mirror kind of thing, which you can kind of see the camera at the back and me waving, potentially. Yeah, there you go. And in this case, you'll also find a 1/4 inch jack, or 6.3mm, a shirt clip, some Sony-esque style earphones where you've got the color coding. The green ones are currently on the earphones themselves, so medium, small and large. And you've also got these other ear tips which are provided. I've just left them in the box, couldn't be bothered to take them out, but they've got a little red stem, again small, medium, large. And finally you've got a warranty sort of card and information, and that's about it. In terms of the overall packaging, just like the Titan 1s, I would have liked to see some foam tips included, and also a soft pouch because it's great in terms of portability over that hard carrying case. Other than that, I'm very much impressed. Over the Titan 1s, you get the inclusion of these ear hooks, which are very useful, but you lose a set of normal silicone tips, which is not a big loss considering you've already got 2 sets of silicone tips to choose from. So now let's jump straight into the build quality. Now, the biggest thing with the Titan 5s over the Titan 1s is the fact they've got a removable cable. If I can just untangle it just a little bit, it'll be great. So they've got a removable cable which is detached from the actual earphones housing themselves. They're a little bit hard to pull out, which is something of an issue, but I don't think you're going to be pulling them out that often. What I'm trying to say over here is that it's very secure, and on top of that, the fact that it's removable is massive in terms of the under £100 earphones. The Titan 5s brings removable cables, and that's fantastic, and I wish a lot more manufacturers do it. I'm not saying that others don't do it, but on the under £100, it's very rare to find them. Now, the earphones are terminated by a gold-plated right-angled jack, which is 3.5mm, as you'd probably expect. It's got this cable sort of tidy thing, which you can circle around and use to store your earphones a little better. As you move up the cable, you've got a DUNU logo over here, and you've got the cable kinch, which is very useful in terms of organizing your earphone. And then moving up to the earphones themselves, as you saw, the removable cable, you've got a 5 logo over here, which denotes that it's a Titan 5s. You can also find a Titan 3s, which got a 3 on them. And the earphones themselves with their housing. Now, it's a full metal body construction, and so therefore the earphones are actually quite heavy. That is the reason why I have these sort of strain reliefs on there. I call them ear hooks just because they look like kind of sort of hooks, but these ear hooks actually take off a lot of the weight when they're in your ear. Alternatively, you can wear these earphones over the ear, but they're designed to be worn straight down. Now, one thing I did feel that was lacking was a color coding scheme. Now, the color coding scheme on the Titan 1s was a red and blue indicator on the rim of the housing, which basically suggested which one's left and right. It's a very nice inclusion, and even though the earphones are pretty easy to know which way they're going because they're in a certain shape, I still would have liked that inclusion on the Titan 5s. And unfortunately that is not the case, which is a slight shame because the actual the sort of direction, left and right indicator is extremely hard to see even in bright light conditions. You kind of have to angle it in a certain light to see them. So it's a little bit of a shame there, but on the whole, I really love the fact that DUNU have thought about the overall build quality in terms of longevity by the actual cable being removable. On top of that, the cable is fully rubberized or whatever sort of material this is, a sort of rubber material, rather than the sort of fabric material which was found on the Titan 1s. So this means that in terms of the overall tangling of the earphones, they get less tangle, and on top of that, their microphonics is slightly more improved. And for those who don't know microphonics, that's cable noise, and therefore the cable noise is slightly improved on the Titan 5s, whereby you hear a little less cable noise when it's rubbing against your shirt or jeans or whatever you might be wearing, or nothing. Who knows? So overall, very impressed with that. Now in terms of the isolation, I did find them to isolate just a little bit better, which was kind of surprising considering they have the exact same design. But I feel that the ear hooks kind of complement that because they fit just a little bit more snugly in your ear, and therefore just isolate just that little bit better. In terms of comfort, now I did mention these are quite heavy, so they are quite heavy earphones. If you wish, you can wear them over the ear, but in my case, I found them best wearing them straight down, but with the ear hooks. Without the ear hooks, I don't find these comfortable just because they're quite heavy earphones. Even in my hands right now, I can feel the weight. So do bear that in mind when wearing them. Now let's move on to the audio quality. Now the audio quality is by far probably the most important part of this review, and it was quite interesting to hear the Titan 5s, especially in comparison to their younger brother, the Titan 1s. Now what was interesting is the bass. Now the bass on the Titan 5s was increased, both in quantity and quality. The quality side of it comes from the sub bass. The sub bass extends just that little bit more over the Titan 1s, meaning you get a nice rumble in your music. However, the quantity was also increased, and that was in the mid bass. Now the mid bass was just a little bit too much for my liking. Now I'm a bass head, or was a bass head, but I felt the Titan 1s really did get the right quantity of mid bass. With the Titan 5s, they're overly done and you've just got a bit too much. Not the fact they're like wobbly of any sort of sound or uncontrolled. Quite the opposite. They're very much controlled and got a great precise slam to them. But the problem is you've got a lot of quantity in there, and therefore it leaks into the mids, which, moving on to the mids, were affected. Therefore, in comparison to the Titan 1s, I felt the Titan 5s felt a little bit more recessed and more V-shaped sounding, which is a little bit of a shame considering Titan 1s were so good in their mids reproduction that I would like to see the same in the Titan 5s. In terms of the highs, I felt the treble energy and the overall treble was fantastic, and the highs extended well yet again in the Titan 5s. In fact, they were almost identical, if not identical, to the Titan 1s. Again, like the Titan 1s, they were slightly rolled off on the top end, but considering its price tag, I'm being super analytical over here. Another big difference in comparison to the lows was its soundstage. Now, due to them having titanium drivers, they sounded just a little bit more different. So the actual diaphragm is titanium, therefore the soundstage just was a little bit more tamed. Now, that's not a good or bad thing, it just was a little different sound. So therefore, the sound, the instrument separation was still fantastic like the Titan 1s, but the decay on the Titan 5s was slightly different, which I kind of liked, but it's just a different sort of sound signature over the Titan 1s. Again, very similar, but just that little bit different. So overall, I think these earphones are great value for money yet again from DUNU. They produce yet another fantastic earphone at a sub £100 price tag. I don't know how the hell these guys do it, but they knock all the competition out the water. Blow them out the water? That's probably the expression I'm looking for. However, that said, the Titan 5s are more bass orientated, Titan 1s were less bass orientated. Their overall build quality is much better, so do bear that in mind. So, a better built earphone, yes. A better bass-orientated earphone, yes. But less mid-centric and a bit more recessed, again, the Titan 5s over the Titan 1s. So it really goes up to you in terms of what you want to choose. On top of that, with the Titan 5s, there's the Titan 3s, which I have read on my friend's website that they are a little bit more neutral and therefore sound a little bit better and more like the Titan 1s, but again, improve in terms of build quality. So maybe the Titan 3s would be the winner, but unfortunately I was not sent them from DUNU, so I cannot comment on them. But as a standalone review of the Titan 5s, they're fantastic, and I'm very much impressed to see what DUNU have done with these Titan 5s, and I just can't wait to see what more they can produce. Alright guys, I've been totally dubbed, and again, make sure you check out my review in the link in the description below, and in case you're interested in buying them, links on Amazon will be below as well. Alright guys, I've been totally dubbed, take care, bye bye.